What's up, Geminites? It's your boy Milton the Manimal.
Gem Mint.
We're here with the pregame before going to see the new Hellboy movie. So,
Stay tuned.
stay tuned. Okay.
All right, Hellboy. It's getting terrible reviews.
It is getting bad reviews. I saw like a really shitty Rotten Tomatoes on it or something, like 18 or some shit.
I'm
like that.
hopeful. I'm like, maybe we'll like it.
So, okay. I don't have a lot of expectations.
Right.
I think really the only thing
I have
that I'm
zero.
excited about is one, because we've been reading a lot of Hellboy lately.
Right.
I've been reading it for the first time. You're doing the BPRD.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing I'm most excited about is seeing Damio, Benjamin Damio's character,
Who is he in?
the Were Jaguar guy from BPRD. He's in this movie. He's never been in a Hellboy movie before.
Oh, you mean the guy with the face like
Yeah.
this? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want to see a whole other origin movie like the first one, the
Right.
first Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman.
I don't remember the sequel really that much. I don't know. I feel like they nailed Abe Sapien in the first one, though. I think that's going to be hard to top.
Well, he's not in this.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. This also, I'm kind of excited about it because I think this is taking parts of the story that I just read in the Library Edition Volume 5, which is the story of, like, Nemu and, like, Hellboy getting Excalibur and stuff like that and going up against this army. I think it's part
Isn't
of
like Baba Yaga supposed to be in this or something?
Baba Yaga?
Is that how you say it?
Yeah. I don't
So
know.
here's my thing. I'm glad you bring up the comics. Like, I don't know. There's a cult following of people that love Hellboy comics, that love the Mignola universe.
Right.
I have a super hard time retaining Hellboy and BPRD stories.
I do too.
Like, I can't. If you told me what all those Hellboy library editions were about, ugh.
I feel like it's because they're all like almost little short stories.
Right.
So it's just like really short ones, and then they have like, you know, they do have like an arc in
Right.
there, but then there's just so much little short stories you don't know what to like retain.
Yeah.
Like what's of value.
What do you keep?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I like going in fresh. I'm hoping that when I see what storyline they're playing out, I'll be like, oh, that's that. And maybe it'll help me remember. But, yeah, it's hard for me to retain those issues, man.
So yeah, I mean, I don't really have any expectations. Honestly, I think I could come out of this movie being just like, yeah, cool,
Yeah.
Hellboy. Unless it's like, I think the only thing that's gonna like make me have an opinion if it's horrible.
Yeah. I don't know. And they're giving it terrible reviews, but I don't have that much invested into Hellboy. I don't really care that much about him to where I'm like, you ruined Hellboy.
Right, exactly.
So let's see how it goes. No expectations, so hopefully we can only be impressed.
Right.
We'll come back and we'll do a non-spoiler review.
Yeah.
And if there's anything spoiler-worthy, maybe we'll do like a spoiler section at the end.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. All right, y'all. We are back from Hellboy. We're going to do a non-spoiler review.
Yeah.
Then maybe we'll talk spoilers after the credits. I'm going to go in and I'm just going to say that this movie was very comic accurate.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of the Hellboy comics, this movie was for you.
Yeah, and I had the advantage, I guess, of just kind of reading some of the stories they just did in this. They pretty much adapted, like, Wild Hunt. I think it's Conqueror Worm. I might be wrong on that one.
I don't think it's Conqueror Worm, is it?
I'm not sure. I can't remember the titles of all of them, but
The one with the giants.
there was, like, 3 stories that they pretty much adapted, like, for the most part, very accurate.
I think the visuals, I think everything was very accurate. However, I think if you are not a Hellboy comic fan, you're not going to give a shit about this movie.
You know what I did kind of like, and we mentioned this, I think, off camera, was you didn't get a lot of origin. They blended his origin in, but it wasn't heavy origin story. It just kind of starts going, and there's like little parts where certain characters give you the backstory. You see, which I thought was cool. They showed the origin of Hellboy, and you saw the big players, like those villains that
The
were
guy,
from
the bald
original
head guy,
movies.
what's that guy's name?
Yeah, I can't remember any of them right
Right.
now. But that was cool, I thought. So
Yeah.
you could do like a future movie, you could bring them back. You've already shown them kind of.
Even in the spoiler section, I'll talk about something about the end, but also something they didn't dwell too much on the origins, and they just kind of went with it. It was very rated R.
Yeah.
F-bombs.
This is not really a kids-friendly movie, I wouldn't say at all.
Gory, a lot of dismembering, and monsters ripping people in half, blood and guts.
There were some scenes at the end where I was just like,
He was getting a little queasy.
I was like, that was a little much.
Yeah, very Mignola-verse with the monsters and big, huge monsters, gross things. Baba Yaga. creepy as hell.
So we had a lot of characters that we've seen in the stories. We had, obviously, you have Hellboy, and then you have Benjamin Damio. You had Trevor Broom.
Yeah.
Even Alice is a character in the story. They kind of changed her character a little bit. In the book, she's actually a love interest of Hellboy. Mm-hmm. Like you said, we had Baba Yaga.
They gave her kind of like what's the guy's name? Johan role?
Yeah. They kind of did give her that role. Where she could kind of like speak. She was a medium, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, the BPRD. I'm not sure if the other like organizations were from the books. Like
Osiris Club was.
Okay, Osiris
and
Club.
So
I would assume it was.
I don't want to give a spoiler away. Yeah. There was another one mentioned later that was also from the book. But
So what do you think? So it's getting bad ratings, and I think the people who are giving it bad ratings are not Hellboy fans. They probably don't know the source material.
Yeah.
Because if you read the source material, what the hell else would you ask for?
Right. You know what though? Like during the movie, I didn't enjoy it, but during the movie, I had a thought where I was like, maybe the strategy shouldn't have been let's do a Hellboy movie. Maybe it should have been let's do a BPRD movie.
Well, here's the thing: this is the Hellboy movie that nobody asked for.
Right.
Why did this movie even get made? You know, one of the guys in the Facebook group, I think his name's Raph, he was like, they should have just made like a animated series. bless you. Like a Spawn HBO animated series version of Hellboy. That would be dope as hell.
Yeah. But, you know, I really would like to see the BPRD with the whole team, you know, Abe and Hellboy. And just more on those, like, I would have rather seen a Plague of Frogs movie.
Yeah, but the thing is, all those BPR books don't even have Hellboy in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is weird to me.
Yeah. But like you said, it was a movie no one asked for, really.
I mean, it was really kind of a BPRD movie, right? I mean...
Yeah. I guess I think though by like anytime you reboot a title and name it like something that's already, it's not, people are always a little apprehensive. You know what I mean? So
the new actor, I mean, to me, it was very similar to the Ron Perlman stuff. I don't think it was that different.
Yeah, gruff.
Same look,
funny, kind of heart of gold type. You know,
I mean,
situation.
Like how Hellboy is in the comics. I mean, he was written just like in the books. His eyes were kind of crazy with those contacts.
Yeah. You know what I kept tripping over? I could not, like, every time he was wearing his trench coat, all I could think was, how the fuck did he get that big arm in that sleeve?
Don't worry about it, man.
That just blows my mind. I couldn't think, like, how to get that arm in that sleeve? How does he get that thing off?
You got a little zipper on the back.
Yeah, he's gonna have to.
So, I don't know. I mean, we're reading it now. Like, I've read Hellboy recently. You're reading it now. We're both reading BPRD. So I think it made sense for us to watch it. But I just don't think Hellboy will ever be a household name, movies or comics. I think it's always going to be that niche kind of independent comic reader.
There are avid fans.
No, there's a cult following, and I think that they will like this movie.
I think so too. I really don't think there was very few things that weren't accurate to the source material, and I think you always have to look at, you know, there's the purists who want the source material exactly, but it's different mediums that you have to like move to.
Yeah, so. I mean, there was nothing that I was like, whoa, what is that? Like, if there was something changed, it flew over my head.
Yeah.
But, so, I mean, I don't know what the reviews are saying. Maybe I'll check out some of them to see what the problem was.
I didn't read either.
Yeah.
So we both kind of went into it with no expectations, really. And I now that I think about it, I came out a little bit more positive.
Yeah, they did it justice.
Yeah.
It was straight. I mean...
I'd see a sequel based on this. I wouldn't like be like, don't make one.
Yeah, so there are after credit scenes we'll talk about in the spoilers, which everybody does now.
Just so you know, though, there are two. If you don't want to watch this, you don't want to watch our spoiler section, there are two, so stay to the complete end.
You want to just go to spoilers now, or is there anything else we want to say non-spoilerish? That Baba Yaga was unsettling. She was disgusting.
This one, she had some saggy titties, too.
I've seen them things. Some real hangers.
Kind of gross them out. Did we need those?
Even with the walking around and all that, like, it was crazy.
I wasn't about it. But
people know that she was in the promotional materials, right?
Right.
Okay, so I don't want to give a spoiler.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, I'd like to say one last thing. I think the thing that I loved the most about the movie, I thought they nailed Damio's character.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about him. So he did feel a little bit changed to me, and I don't really want to give spoilers out, but I feel like in the BPRD he comes out in Plague of Frogs or 19
Plague of Frogs.
He Okay, let's talk about him in the spoilers. So you like how they portrayed him. I have a couple nitpicks about him.
Okay.
And
he was my favorite part about the movie, to be honest with you.
I think, now that you mention him, I think he's the biggest change from the source material.
In a few ways.
Right, yeah. So let's talk about him in spoilers. But, I mean, It was cool to have him instead of Abe. I think they did Abe a lot in the first movie.
You needed something new because you don't want to reboot with the same reboot.
Right,
you know what I mean?
exactly. You can't, yeah, exactly. And it's like a soft reboot. It's almost like they didn't really retell the origin. They kind of just told other Hellboy stories.
Yeah, outside of a few things, when they showed his origin story, it's almost like you could have been like, oh, okay, it's in that same movie universe. Granted, there was some character changes here.
No, it could have been for sure. Yeah, like,
but there's a few things that in the spoilers
But in that first movie, they really dragged out his birth and his origin and stuff.
Yeah. Well, no one knew Hellboy at that point, so.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right, cool. So if you're not going to stick around for the spoilers, let us know what you think about Hellboy in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Hit the like on the way out. And stay tuned after the credits scene. We'll talk spoilers on Hellboy. Peace. All right, what's his name? Damios?
Benjamin Daimio.
So should we talk about him first?
Yeah, since it's on the top of your mind.
So I think the biggest changes were, like, he wasn't able to willy-nilly change it to a Jaguar in the books.
So, yeah, a couple things, too. This wasn't... He never, in the books, as far as where I've read, has never even met Hellboy. He was just with fucking...
He came in because Hellboy was gone.
Right.
They never talked about the fact that he was just recently killed.
Right.
And, like, resurrected.
And in the books, they also... In the movie, he had, like, a serum that was kind of preventing it.
Yeah.
His change. And they didn't have that in the book either.
Yeah, they gave him the real werewolf vibe, which I didn't really catch in the book. I think in the book, at the very end, he was... it came to light that he changed before, and it wasn't like...
Yeah, but he was a were-jaguar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also in the books, like, he didn't just have scars. Like, his fucking whole...
He was missing, like, half of it. It's almost like Two-Face.
Yeah, you could see the inside of his mouth from the outside of his face, so... They did change him up a lot, but he still was a cold, kind of calculating military man.
I thought he played well with Hellboy, though. Like, I liked the dynamic between the two of them. I really liked the dynamic between him and Alice as well.
Alice was cool.
I liked him just as a supporting character, and I really loved him in Plague of Frogs. So I was excited that he was going to be in this movie, and I was pleasantly surprised with how they did it.
Speaking of Alice, that whole Conjuring...
Yeah, that shit was kind of gross,
that
too, man.
Was sick,
They did a lot of gross, like, nasty shit. That kind of like, ooh.
Yeah, she could basically, like... she's a medium, and she could channel another spirit, but she does it like it has to, like, grow out of her body.
Yeah, like vomits out of her mouth, or I don't know, it's weird. You'll see.
So that was gross. So they did the Excalibur thing, and what I was mentioning in the non-spoilers is that they kind of very quickly went over the fact that his mother was an ancestor of King Arthur that had sex with a demon, that she gave birth to Hellboy in hell.
So basically, yeah, Hellboy is the last descendant of the bloodline of King Arthur. So he's the king of England, so to speak. So
I remember when I was talking to you, because you had just recently read that. When that happened in the books, I was like, wait, what?
It did kind of come out of nowhere.
Came out of nowhere.
So it was cool. I loved it.
And I think it was good for the movie, and it tied into the beginning of the movie, so it was good for that.
So they did have classic stuff as well as the Pig Man. He was a big thing in the movie or in the book as well.
And the whole when the fairies steal the baby and put in the.
And that's exactly the same in the book. Alice is like a grown-up woman who he's kind of like a love interest with during that storyline.
I don't remember Alice in the book.
She was a redhead. She was like an older woman, not older, but like an adult woman, redhead. And he was kind of meeting back up with her. But it was the same thing. She was like, you saved me when I was a kid from the fairies, blah, blah, blah.
To me, it was just like, let's not do the Liz Firestarter thing.
Exactly.
But damn, they should have did Johan instead of her, man.
Yeah, maybe not give her those powers.
But give him the whole misting coming out of the fingers and him conjuring and he's the medium in DPRD.
She also had some power where she could like blast a spirit out of someone.
Straight Doctor Strange style, right?
So that was kind of cool. Let's talk Baba Yaga.
Okay, talk. So I love the whole getting summoned to her dimension with the house on the ostrich legs thing.
Chicken legs.
Is it chicken legs?
Yeah, chicken legs.
Why is it ostrich?
I don't know.
You ever eat an ostrich burger?
I don't know.
Bob Bland
does.
So what about the Baba?
So Baba Yaga actually shows up a lot in the Hellboy stories, and she's kind of a constant like thorn in his side, and she always wants revenge against him. And she does play into this story in the book as well. Which also, since we're talking about Baba Yaga, let's kind of delve into one of the post-credit scenes. The last one.
So the last one, which is not really worth the wait, is that she's talking to someone across the table.
It might be worth the wait long run.
So it's basically teasing a villain for a sequel.
Right.
Big shocker.
So in the book, Baba Yaga wants revenge on Hellboy, and same in the movie because he took her eye.
Yeah.
So in the spoiler, or in the post-credit scene, she's talking to someone who's going to end up being Koshi the Deathless. And I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, but he was a guy who wants to die, and Baba Yaga says she'll kill him finally if he goes and kills Hellboy. Remember this dude? Okay, so you said you couldn't remember who he was.
Yeah.
His soul was in an egg, swallowed by a rabbit, swallowed by a goat. Remember this?
Not at all.
This like weird little thing about.
I
his
have
soul.
bad retention problems with Hellboy.
And it was a long time ago.
But I did remember, like I said before we watched the movie, I definitely remembered the Three Giants thing. I definitely remembered the Baby Switch thing, the Baba Yaga. I don't know if that's what it's called. Yeah, the Excalibur stuff. I definitely remembered that. So I mean, that was the very end credit scene, but the mid credit scene was wait.
Talk about Baba Yaga still first.
Okay, so what about it?
You were wanting to talk about how gross she was and everything.
She was disgusting. She makes out with him.
Yeah,
sick.
And she was doing all that like exorcist shit, like breaking her back backwards and like saggy ass titties hanging out.
And she was gruesome, man. They really did a good job with how they did that.
She had those babies that she was eating, the kids.
That was fucked up.
That was fucked up, huh? The fingers and the soup and stuff.
Yeah. So there's this spread, and he even says like Hellboy style, hey, nice spread, right? He's got this table full of food, and there's fingers in the thing, and he gets pissed. He's like, are these fucking kids' fingers? And then you look in the back, and he's got like dead kids hanging. And it was fucked up.
It was kind of an important scene because up to that point, we've really been seeing Hellboy like fighting whether he wants to protect the monsters or he wants to protect humans. And at that point, he could have gone either way when he sees the kids, but he just couldn't take it.
No, I like how you said that because I was thinking about that and I was going to forget. He's in a constant struggle with should he side with the monsters like what he is or should he save mankind?
Which was also important when he finds out that his mother's human. So he is actually half human.
Yeah, but that was a turning point. He's like, man, fuck these monsters.
I can't do this shit,
That was crazy, man. That's when he decided to make a deal with her and pretty much like...
sacrifice an eye for her.
Yeah, but he had an ace up his sleeve kind of thing. Yeah, so that was that. You want to talk mid-credit scene or...
Well, what other spoilers before the mid-credits can we talk about with the movie, really?
So we didn't really talk about the Blood God, who was like the main villain in this whole movie.
The Blood Queen, yeah.
Blood Queen.
So in common, like, Arthurian lore, she's the one who... She always goes up against Merlin and whatnot, so you see Merlin in the story. Basically, long story short, Arthur destroys her with Excalibur and spreads her body parts. And the main part of the movie is her body parts being reorganized to come back. And she wants to become, like, queen with Hellboy.
Even how that pig-faced guy was getting those boxes back and, like, it can only be opened by a man of God, so he rips the priest's tongue out because who has a vow of silence, and he eats it, and then he could speak like that.
That was weird, man.
Crazy, man.
So then, let's talk about the end kind of, too, when all the monsters come out, when Hellboy goes full Hellboy.
So he was about to bring on the apocalypse, so he didn't really use the right hand of doom. He was just going to sword of Excalibur it.
Yeah.
And then hell opens up, and all these Magnola monsters come through, and they start doing fucked up shit, too, man.
How about, what was the one I go like, oh, God. There was one.
The guy had like a hand in his groin, and the hands were here, and he ripped them in three. It was like straight Mortal Kombat X fatalities going on, man. It ripped the guy's face off.
That one.
That was sick, man.
So... And then in true Hellboy fashion, like always, this guy's like, it's like just the Uncle Ben. Trevor Broom always dies. You know?
I was like, in my head, I was like, yo, he really lived this whole movie.
Yeah, he did. I was kind of surprised. Yeah.
He made it a long way.
So they always kill that dude.
Yeah. But that was a good relationship, too, him and Hellboy. That was cool.
I love the scene when Damien turned into the were-jaguar.
Yeah.
Finally, and then started fighting with him. I thought that was cool as hell.
So I felt like the CGI started to slip at the end when Hellboy went full... devil.
He got a little big too, huh?
Yeah, and his face got a little just, I don't know, bad CGI.
Yeah, maybe. I kind of know what you're talking
Although
about.
I do love when he gets the whole horns and the crown. That shit is like how he looks.
How about in the beginning when his horns were all jagged, like he had to file them back down?
So they were kind of growing back, and then he had to file them again. Yeah, I noticed that too. I like that touch. Even when his dad, when Broom was filing it, that was super CGI too.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much like the gist of the story.
So we still didn't talk about the mid-credits.
Yeah, go for it.
So they tease Abe Sapien.
Well, Jesus. That's all you got to...
So, 6 months later, they're full BPRD mode.
Yeah,
kicking
like
ass
a good
and
little
taking
trio,
names. And they find him in a tube.
Yeah, so they go down and they're going after another, like, cult.
What's the cult? Because you said...
The Atlantis cult.
The Atlantis.
And they show
Oh, is that him from the BPRD books with the 4 guys?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So they go down in the basement and there's a big watery tube. They clean off the plaque and it says, like, Ichthyosapien.
Yeah.
And then you see the webbed hand come up. So I thought it was cool. You know, you want to see Abe. When there's a Hellboy movie, you want to see Abe.
They should have did a little bit of frog teases here and there, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I'm reading Hell on Earth right now, which is after Plague of Frogs, and there's just this one panel out of nowhere where a frog's just looking at somebody. Like, kind of subtle shit.
When they showed the monsters at the tree, there was a couple of them I was like, they kind of look a little bit like the frogs.
Oh, yeah, there was a lot. I couldn't really tell.
I was kind of wondering. I was trying to think if that was, like, on purpose or just, you know, the monsters.
Yeah, so super comic accurate, man. Like,
It was. It was very comic accurate.
Yeah.
I thought it was good, man. I'd see a second one for sure. And I'd be excited for it, probably.
Yeah.
But you're right. It was a movie no one really asked for or necessarily wanted.
Right.
So.
All right. So I guess that might be it.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, man.
So, little thumbs up on the movie? We're giving it a thumbs up?
I'll give it a thumbs up. Yeah. Is that the new thing we're doing?
Yeah.
I want to rank it. Everything's a 7. And
let's rank it with the rest of the Mignola-verse movies.
Yeah. All right. So I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Thanks for staying for the spoilers, man. You guys keep it minty fresh. Peace.